Let's see. Let's do that one. Hello, hello. It is Jen with Jensden Art. I am here today to talk to you about how to prep our board for the Lord's Supper collaborative workshop. Come on in, everybody. This is Ginger LaCour with Jensden Art. And yes, I already have gesso all over my shirt. Oh my goodness. Why does that always happen to me? Come on in. I see we have people coming in. I'm just gonna go with it. Okay. It's already got paint on it. I might as well just go with it. I'll try to get it off later. Hello, everyone. I am here today to tell you about our collaborative workshop that Elizabeth Rhodes and I have coming up starting this Monday, April 7th. And I am also here to help those of you who have already signed up prep your board before Monday night. Okay. So we're going to do two things tonight. We're going to talk about this project. If you have not heard about it, I will talk to you about it. If you have heard about it, say that you've heard about it. And if you've joined and if you've registered and you're in the Facebook group already and you've got your template printed out or you bought your boards and your supplies or whatever it is, let us all know. We want to know what's going on out there. Hello, Melissa and Pat and Tracy. Thank you for coming on today. Okay, so let's talk about what's happening. We have a collaborative workshop. Elizabeth Rhodes Studio, who is a glass and resin artist. She's actually like a plethora of all kind of mediums. Her and I are collaborating together on this workshop, and what we're doing is we're painting the Lord's Supper painting that you see right here. And after we're done painting it, Elizabeth is going to show you how to add glass. I don't know if you can see it, but in this picture here on their clothes, you can see on their clothes, there's glass, there's texture on there. And look at the little pieces on the table, like all of their, like the hosts and all that kind of stuff is little beads of glass. And then after she put the glass on, she poured resin over the whole thing and let it sit overnight. And it is a gorgeous, beautiful piece. And what we're going to do today is we are going to start on this project tonight. We're not going to do any painting. We're not going to do any transferring of a template. But what we are going to do is we're going to prep our board, because what we've decided to do, is it on the legs too? Oh, maybe so. Maybe so. I didn't notice that. Melissa said she got her board today. Yay! Yes, ready to start. Hi, Connie. Thank you for coming on. I am streaming on, oh, you know what? I forgot to press go live on Instagram. Let me do that real quick. I am streaming on Instagram, on my YouTube channel, and on my Facebook page right now. So what I wanted to talk to you all about is I'm going to show my screen to y'all so y'all can see what I'm actually doing. Let's go here. All right. So what I have in front of me is some options for our surface. Now, I don't know if you can already see. You probably can. Let me turn we're a little glary here. See this? This is the sides of it's called basswood plank. I don't know if y'all can see that. I think y'all can. Yes. Basswood plank. That's what this is. Okay. That is what the original piece is painted on. This is very flaky. It comes off because it's a real piece of a tree, and that's the real bark. Okay. But once you add the resin on it, it hardens it and it does not flake anymore. Okay. So you just have to be really careful with it in advance, but that is something you have to watch for if you're going to use this. So you just have to be very careful with it. I'll show it to you again. It is, I got it at Hobby Lobby, this particular one. Basswood plank. This one is 11 to 13 inches wide and 16 inches long, actually. Okay. You do not have to use this exact board. Okay. You do not have to use this size because we provide every single size possible that you could possibly want. We provide that size for you. I'm trying to see. There we go. Okay. So that is not necessary. This board is not necessary. You do not have to buy this board. We just thought it would look really unique to advertise and do it this way for you to see what it would look like. Another option is this board here. This is the largest I have in stock right now. This is a wood panel. It is unprimed. There's nothing on it. I love, love, love painting my acrylic paintings on this wood. Okay. It is a pine cradle. If you look at the back of it, you see it's got, you can even use this side if you want. If you put resin around this, you can even use this as the inside and then use this as a frame. It's totally up to you. So I use these a lot in my paintings, and this is something that you can use. This is just a 9x12. The reason why I'm showing you both of these, we are going to prep these, both of them, because I have two options for prepping. Okay. One of the options is a clear gesso. A clear gesso. We're going to be using gesso. Regardless, it's going to be called gesso. Okay. Regardless of whether it's Liquitex, Golden, Master's Touch brand, whatever it is, we're going to be using gesso. This gesso is transparent. It is clear. So I'm going to use this on this 9x12 just to show you what it's going to look like when you apply the gesso and what the gesso does. And then on the big, large piece, I cannot show you because I opened it already, but this is a huge, maybe I can show you this way. Let's go to this screen. This is a huge tub of gesso. Okay. It is basic acrylics gesso. It's a huge tub. It's brand new. I just opened it because I was out, and this is what I use most of the time, which is why I bought such a big tub. I think this was like $25 for this big thing. This is going to last me like a year. Okay. So that's why I bought this big thing. All right, so let me show you. We are going to, I'm looking to see if there's any questions. Jen, if I have a 4-foot board like this, can't I just cut it? Absolutely. You can cut it any size you want, Miss Connie. Pat says she's using a 12x20. Perfect. Okay, Annie says she's never used the basswood plank before. Yes, it's really cool when you add the resin to it because it stops flaking on the sides. It hardens and it makes the sides like really, really cool. Okay, so let me go back here. And what we're going to do, I'm going to take this off. What we're going to do first is I'm just going to apply the clear gesso. I'm just going to use a paintbrush, actually. Okay, just going to use a paintbrush. And what the gesso does, y'all, is it provides kind of, think of it like a primer in a way. It basically is a layer between your paint and the wood. And having that layer between the paint and the wood, what it's going to do is it's going to stop the paint. If you've ever painted on wood, you would know exactly what I'm talking about. It's going to stop the paint from seeping into the wood. And it's going to keep your paint on the surface instead of soaking into the wood. So that's why we want to use a gesso. Now, if you don't want to use a gesso, that's fine. You can still paint on a non-primed piece of wood. You just have to be willing to accept that your paint's going to absorb into the wood really, really fast. And it's going to make the painting look a lot darker because your paint's just it's gonna just seep into the wood really easy. And you're just going to have to use a lot of paint because your paint's going to dry really fast because of it absorbing. So the reason why I'm doing this 2 days before we're starting is because I want to put more than one layer, and I have to let my layers dry in between. You can't even see that I have this layer on here, okay? You can't even see it. I know y'all are going to try it. You can kind of see really, really close up. All right. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this dry. It's going to take 3 or 4 hours to dry. I'm going to let this dry, and I'm going to put a second coat on here. And then once it's completely dry, I'm going to pass a 200 grit sandpaper on top of this. Now, let me talk to you about why I'm doing that. Because I like clear gesso, but I don't like clear gesso because I find it sandy. It leaves a sandy grit on my surface. So if you don't like this, and the reason why it does that is because it provides like tooth. It provides texture for your paint to stick to. I like painting on smooth surfaces. So I'm going to sand it just a little bit, not much, and then I'm ready to use it. It's going to make the painting experience a lot more enjoyable. Okay, so I just wanted to share that with you. There we go. We're going to put this one aside. It didn't even change the color of the board. You see, the board is the same exact color that it was before. It doesn't even look like you have it on there. So that's one option. That is called clear gesso. All right, I'm going to put that one aside. And then I'm going to show you a second option. Let me clean off this. That's an old dirty water right here, but that'll do. Okay, so my second option is my white. And before, let me zoom out some. Before I put that white on this piece, I'm going to tape the sides off. You can use painter's tape, like the blue painter's tape or whatever you want is fine. I am going to use this white tape. It's actually called artist tape. And I'm gonna kind of use this. I'm gonna kind of use this little extra lip right here as my trim area. I'm gonna tape that off. I don't know why I didn't just go the whole way across. I don't know why I started right there. So I didn't have to break it up into 2 pieces, but that looks like what I'm doing. All right, so I'm going to keep this tape on the entire time I do the painting because I don't want this bark to get all full of paint. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing up here. I'm just going to put one large piece, which is what I probably should have done at the bottom as well. And I'm going to keep this tape on here the entire time that I paint. Okay, now if you put clear gesso on here, you don't have to tape it until later because clear is not going to make a difference. But because the clear is not even going to show. But since I'm using white, y'all, I'm just going to use the top of the container. See how much I have? Since I'm using white, I want to tape it off because I don't want this white gesso to get onto the bark. And I'm just using a paintbrush. And I'm putting a really thin layer. You see how it's kind of transparent, actually. It's not real opaque. And put a really thin layer. There is no right or wrong on how to apply the gesso. You can put it on with a palette knife if you want it to be thicker. I just like to, remember, all we're doing with this gesso is we're just using it as a primer. We're using it as a protective layer between your paint and your wood so that your paint doesn't absorb so much into the wood. Because this wood is super, super clean and sanded down. So your paint is going to absorb into that. I'm just going to use white, and you can see that it's not white. It's just kind of like a medium. You can still kind of see the wood underneath. So the question you have to ask yourself, which this is a personal preference, okay? Totally a personal preference. There's no right or wrong answer to this question. And the question is, do you want the natural wood in your painting? Like, do you want to be able to see that natural wood in your painting? If you do, then I would use clear gesso. Do you want a solid white surface to start on? If you want everything to be white, then I would use, of course, a white gesso. Now, I just put one layer of gesso on this board. You know why? Because I like the transparency that it has. I like how it's sort of transparent. You can still kind of see a little bit of the wood on it. So I'm going to stop after this first layer of gesso. That's my personal preference. I'm going to stop and I'm just going to leave it like this for the entire painting. I'm just going to leave it like this. And I'm going to paint on top of this one layer of gesso. Now, if I did not want that wood to show through, then another option for me is after this dries, I'm going to put a second layer of gesso on top of this, and then I'm going to have more of a solid surface so you can't even see the wood. But remember, the whole point of the gesso is to protect your paint from absorbing into the wood. Also, it provides a better experience with your painting process. Because if you're struggling, if you're starting to paint, when we start painting Monday, you're like, all right, I'm ready to go. And you didn't do anything to your wood. As soon as you start applying that paint, you're going to feel the frustration. Okay. You're going to feel like, oh my gosh, my paint is just, before I can even spread it, it's just like seeping into the wood surface. And I can't get my paint to move right. And it's a lot darker than I wanted it to be. So those are the kind of things that hopefully will help you if you want to have a better experience through the whole process. Okay, totally up to you. All of them are correct methods. There's no one right method. Everybody's got their own preference. And so I'm here to help teach you and educate you on the different options that you have. Another option is you can use colored gesso if you want. I ran out, but I actually use a lot of orange gesso on my paintings. I haven't bought any in a while because I kind of got away from it for a little bit. You know, you go through some stages as an artist. You're like, yay, I want to use orange gesso all the time. And then after a while, you're like, I don't want to use it anymore. You know, just like anything else, you go through stages and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So you can use any color gesso you want. You can even give you another option. You can even put your gesso on because the gesso is what is going to be your protective layer. But your color, if you want to paint on something different, like behind me, this is an azo. I don't have it in front of me. I thought I did, but this is an azo gold. You see this one? This is not gesso. This is paint. This is acrylic. What do they call it? Fluid. This is fluid acrylic paint that I started my painting with. This is going to be a horse, by the way. It's not even close to being finished. But this is fluid acrylic paint, and it's in a golden orange tone because the horse that I'm painting is a red. I don't know what you call that color. But the horse that look, it's right here. I'll show it to you. This is the horse that I'm painting. So you see the colors of the horse? That underlayer is going to work really well because of the colors that are on the horse. So again, I'm not going to use any color for my background. I'm just going to use that white gesso, and then I'm just going to go ahead and start painting. I think it's going to be a beautiful painting, even though I'm not going to put any color underneath it. So Pat says, so I'm not applying an undercoat. I'm not. I'm not going to put an undercoat on this painting. I'm just going to paint it as is. Okay. A roan. A red horse is a roan. I knew it was something like that. Thank you, Shirley. Let's see. Just wondering what you used on your original painting, clear or white gesso. I actually used orange on my original, the one that Elizabeth has on this picture here. Let me show y'all again. I actually used orange. And I'll tell you what I discovered. The reason why I'm not using it again. It was too dark. I had to put a lot of layers on this painting before I got it to have the colors that I wanted it to have. The yellow was really it was just too dark for me. The orange gesso made the whole painting too dark. I wanted more vibrant colors in it. So I had to go in and I had to put probably 3 or 4 layers and change the colors of some of the painting to get it to be right. And I feel like if I do it again this time, it's going to be too dark again. So I've decided that I want my painting to be more vibrant. So I'm going to use a white background this time instead of an orange. I used a really deep orange background and I didn't like it. So I had to fix it. I had to fix it to make it work right. I think it's called sorrel. I don't know. It's actually my son's horse. He bought that horse as a baby horse and he's training it. And yeah, I don't know how, I think it's not much older than it is in that picture. You could tell it's a baby horse, right? Whatever you call a baby horse. What do you call it? Y'all, my son is a horse trainer. We did not grow up around horses, so he's teaching me everything that I need to know about horses. A colt. It's a colt. Okay. Yes, there are different color gessos that you can buy. So that is my spill tonight, y'all, on prepping your canvas. And the reason why I came on at least 2 days in advance before we start Monday night is because I want you to have enough time for you to apply your gesso and let it dry. And if you want to sand it and apply a second coat, go ahead and do so as well. A foal, yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't know all those words. So yes, no undercoat needed at all. It's totally your preference on what you want to do, but I'm going to start with this. It's not white. It's got a little bit of a tint to it, which is why I don't want to put a second coat of gesso on it because I don't want it to be solid white. I want it to have that little bit of tannish. You can kind of still see the wood through it. I like that. I like that color. So I'm going to go with that. So when we start Monday night, we are going to start by applying the template. Once the gesso is completely dry, everything's sanded down, all that good stuff, we are going to start by applying the template, and then we're going to start our painting on Monday night. Okay. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. And Annie, thank you very much. It's beautiful. Ask Cole. He knows everything. I know. He knows it all. Yes, he does have very nice horses. I know. He and his girlfriend that's their full-time job. Like, that's what they do. They buy and sell horses and train them and it's fun. It's fun. That's what they love to do. So anyway, does anybody have any other questions? I'm going to put the link to the workshop. If you have not signed up yet, here is the link to the workshop. We start Monday night at 7 p.m. and I hope you come on in and join us. We have a private Facebook group And we're going to have, I'm working on it now, we're going to have a website where you don't even have to be on Facebook. You can just go to the website and watch the videos there instead of having to go into Facebook to watch the videos and get all of the information. Okay? Yeah. All right, Miss Catherine, let's do this. Okay, guys, I hope y'all are having a great weekend. We dodged the bullet. We were supposed to have a really bad weather today, and we dodged the bullet. I don't know if it's going to be coming later on tonight. Let's hope it does not. So I hope you continue to have. So Cindy, Monday at 2:00 is the normal Den membership painting, not the Lord's Supper painting. It's just my normal weekly painting for our monthly membership, which is going to be a barn. Okay? All right. So, yes, I am going to be live at 2:00 Monday and also at 7:00 Monday. All right? All right. We'll see y'all later. Y'all have a great night. Bye.